Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Ms.Nhi Podcast. I'm so exciting today. I have a lot of guests on my channel, but when I have my close people come to my channel, it's my honors. And today, my other amazing friend, he was one of the very few male that I have to say that I give a lot of respect in terms of leadership and business owner. And don't want to waste more time with you guys. Okay, let's introduce him here and let him introduce about who he is and what he'll be doing.
Hello, hi Anne.
Hello.
You look great. Hi
Oh, thank
everyone on the podcast. Hello. So well Anne asked me to introduce myself. So a quick one. My name is Yan Jiang. Based in Singapore. I run a logistics company and I run a few other businesses as well. My main one is logistics at this point of time. And I've been building businesses for the past as much as I remember. As soon as I graduated from university in Singapore, I've been building businesses. I've been working on businesses, starting businesses, and or has always been my main thing to run businesses. So after 20, let me think, 25, 23 years. Well, I've been building businesses for 23 years. So that's my background. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, YJ. And why I call him YJ because that's how I've been calling him in the BJJ mat. And how do I know him? It's a very funny story, and I would love to share with you guys because I go for mixed martial art class, and he go to mixed martial art class. And this is the thing I love about mixed martial art class. You don't know anybody who doing whatsoever in their real life, but you go there and sweat together and laugh together. And
What? Yes, you're right. You're right. It's so fun.
right? Yeah,
Yes,
it's like,
so fun.
and it's the best part of mixed martial art because as the moment you wear the gi in, everybody is the same. We fight
Exactly.
for our life to don't die on the mat. and
Yes.
And whoever know make martial art, you know what I'm talking. If you don't know, go and figure it out. But that's how I know Susan, which is YJ wife, and we good friend after the mat, and because we roll with each other so much, and we as a mom, and then it lead to the conversation with him. And I don't even know what he doing, by the way. I think like for the first 8 months good of rolling BJJ, I don't even know what he doing and what he been doing. And I still remember one day, this is my personal experience with him. I don't think he even know that, right? That I don't know, somehow we have some conversation about men and women in the mat. After the mat, after
Hmm.
all of us sweat and we try to cool down. I'm not sure you remember that. And when I share about perspective of people need to be more respect with men or something, and then you told me, can you tell more girl to know all this because they always look for like Korean boy and all that, right? And I will tell him, can you go to my podcast and tell the boys so don't be dumb? And it's real conversation. And he was like, no, I don't want, no, I don't want, no, I don't want. And that's it. I give up because I'm like, he was so smart. What he doing? How he can have very deep and wisdom conversation. And for me, I'm very good at spot people who are very mature and experienced, right? I like, okay, you go through life. I can tell based on your conversation. So my first question to you is, why you decide to act dumb in every situation?
Egg down.
I think that's a very good question because this is the art that
Hmm.
YJ have that you guys should learn. I really like that about him. You don't know that
Egg
he's
down.
smart, and
Yes.
like he just everywhere he just as a normal person. You don't know that he's so much wisdom inside him. But today that's my job to dig all his wisdom out.
Well, I have to answer a question. What was the
Yeah.
question again? Why do I egg
Why?
down?
Yes. When and how, why do you decide to start that? Should I start that?
I don't know. This is a very good question. Actually, no one has asked me this question before.
Yep.
Um, yes. You know what? I guess I'm not really acting dumb. I'm just trying to be like you because I'm one thing I'm very impressed about you yourself is that you keep on learning no matter how good you are or how bad you are or how in a certain topic, for example,
Yeah.
you always what you started with this podcast, you said that I always wanted to learn from people.
Yeah.
So it's the same context that I also want to do because I always feel that there's always something to learn from someone.
Yeah.
And well, I have a mentor that used to always tell me, ask questions, change your life. So a lot of times, right, I guess my DNA after I started building this business and once I work with my business coach, he always tells me to ask questions and not be quick to say anything, but be patient enough to listen to people and keep on asking dumb questions. I mean, sometimes questions are not dumb, but I guess the best podcaster like you
Yeah.
always ask good questions and always patiently listen and always try to, like you say, dig out more information on others.
Yes.
And well, I can't say I act dumb. I think I am trying to absorb as much as possible to get more information on my surroundings, the people around me, see how I can serve them better. And it's very much like BJJ, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you do BJJ, you think that, let's say, you think that you are really good because
Yeah.
I think you too, when you do mixed martial arts and myself, we do BJJ, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. A lot of times when I enter into a ring, I want to win. I think I can win. Whenever
Yeah.
you think you can win, you lose.
You lose. Yes.
Whenever you think that you're smarter, you're better than that person, you lose. It's the same concept. I'll give you an example, right? My kids went for a BJJ competition, right?
Yeah.
I'm quite confident of my kids' ability to do BJJ, right? Some BJJ. So when I looked at their opponents and I feel that I think my kids will win.
Yeah.
When I have this thought, the results always surprises me. It's like, not true.
Yeah.
Whenever I go into the mats, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, BJJ, whenever I think I can do good, I always don't do good. It's always the case. And it has been like that for as long as I live. And that's how I don't go into an environment thinking that I'm the best first. Try myself not to because my character, my personality is a very demanding character. I myself, I'm a choleric. You know, if you read the book Personality Plus, I'm a choleric sanguine. Choleric sanguine means very assertive. Sanguine means ha 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 ha, something like that.
Yeah.
So a person like this, I tend to always think that I'm better. So life tells me that I should act dumb.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's a very good answer that, and I'm actually purposely I want to ask that question because that's a, one of the quality that you have that I learned, and I like that's a very good one because I'm tend to use that. I don't know, when young I think it's good that you very actively want to help everybody, but it come to this age now that you and Susan give me very good perspective that you just hit the stake that you want to slow down. And I think I'm not saying I'm getting there yet, but I get it, right? Because I can see myself now with the energy level of 10 years ago when I start business or do all this. I will more motivation and I will more energy, and it's the time for me to reflect and reschedule. And that's when friendship come to your life. And I believe that, God will send certain people to you when you need it, because life change and people grow, and your circle of friendship is grow as well. And that is the next question I want to ask you as well, as how do you start your journey of entrepreneur? I know that you graduate and you straight away do it. And we have this conversation before, but my audience is the first time who want to hear it, because I want to motivate more male entrepreneur, and not any male entrepreneur. I want male entrepreneur who have a good heart when run business. My goal is very clear, not just about money. It's a fundamental about after money, you need to have health, you need to have happiness, you need to have family, you need to have clarity and wisdom and long term, you know. And you are the few of entrepreneur in my life that I will very admire and respectful on that. So share with our audience about your journey and what discover you to this journey.
Well, before I start to share my journey, just now you
Yeah,
mentioned that Suzanne and I have started to slow down. Yes, it's quite true. We started to slow down. I think for many of you, or many of us, or anyone who's listening to this, you want to build a successful business. But
yeah,
of course, usually in the beginning stages, for my case, right, it's from early 20s to I I think I dissect my entrepreneurship journey to 20s, in my 20s, in my 30s, and now in my 40s.
mm,
So in my 20s, right, I was like, in Chinese, there's this term called 无头苍蝇, headless fly. You keep on working very hard, working, just work until until you are very tired, until because you want to achieve something, because you start from zero, you want to achieve something.
yeah,
So then from in my 30s, that means first 10 years, then second 10 years is a time where it's more like realizing what you are good at, what you are really, really, really good at. So in my 30s, I was trying to hone my skills. I understand what I'm really good at. I begin to not choose my work, choose my area to focus on, and having people like mentors, like yourself. And I call you N for the whole
yeah,
audience. I call her N. I
yeah,
know a lot of people call her Nhi
yeah,
Lei. And yeah, so N is a mentor to many, right? So when I work with a mentor, right, they give me a feedback as to what you are good at, what you're, where are your strengths. And now at 40 in the third 10th year, I'm into my third 10th year, which is, I can't say I'm slowing down. I think what I'm trying to do is to really try to work with more wisdom. For the first 20 years is to accumulate wisdom.
yeah,
And the third 10 year, which is the from 40, in my 40s, I'm thinking that it's to use more of my wisdom to see and observe, and not to act fast, but to act correctly. And that's why you feel that I'm slowing down. That's why you probably feel that I don't do many things. That's why you probably think that I consider things a lot, like when
yeah.
I go into something. But
He
when I
was
go
very
into something,
serious every time I meet him. His face was like in the mood of working, you know, and I get it, you know. I think that's something we unspoken understanding. Even
yes,
we in the mat, our brain is thinking of our work, and only when we try to choke each other, we don't think of work. But at the moment
yes,
we step out of the mat, work come back,
yes,
right?
yes,
So yeah,
yes.
I get it. I mean, not slowing down in terms of making money. I'm saying slowing down about, because when I asked him to, oh, can you teach this? I hear like, and I was
No,
like, okay, no,
no, because I have to be very careful with what I talk about, right? So because
yeah,
you have your audience, which is very important to you, I need to know
yes,
whether I add value to you, to your
yes,
team, or your content. I think this is
yeah.
very important, which is why I spend so much time with your. I'm not sure if I spend a lot of time, but I do think I spend a considerable amount of time with your people
Oh
to know
yes,
what your
yes,
people want.
yeah. That's
And
a
by
lot of time with my team. To be honest, most of my guests very rarely they know me personally, but they're not really in contact with my team. But you are the few who are really close with my team in terms of meet them in the person, experience them in real life. So yes,
yeah,
very
so
few people. Yeah,
when I talk to them, I know what they are thinking, and whether it
Yeah.
adds value to your audience. So that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't answered your question. Your question.
Yeah.
So your question was, how did I start my entrepreneurship journey? In fact, right. Okay. So now is the question answering part.
Yeah.
I started actually all my life. I wanted to do things easier. Actually, I can say that I'm very book smart. So when I study for exams, I can score very well. When I was younger, I didn't know that I can do it until it was during middle school, which is about 13 to 16 years old. I knew I can study well. I absorb knowledge, okay, I can understand. But there's one thing about absorbing knowledge and then I do well in studies. I always think that there's always a way to do things better. I always feel that since I was 13 and 16. So when I graduated from my middle school, I went to junior college in Singapore. Then after that, I graduated from junior college, about to enter university. I have two choices actually. One choice is to follow my dad's advice. Suggestion is to do a medical degree, which is not in Singapore, or choose your own degree. Actually, my father just said you can choose any, but you have the potential to do a medical degree if you want to. So, how did I choose? My thinking is that I want to condense my life. So I chose an accounting degree, which is a 3-year course. That only require you to study 16 hours a week. So that's my logic.
You already planned from that time.
Yes, and then it was 3-year course because instead of getting a degree in engineering, which is the maths makes sense.
Yeah.
4-year course, 28 hours a week of studying. I choose accounting degree, 3-year course, 16 hours of studying. That's the reason why I chose accounting. And it is this right that I realized there are things that can be better, be faster, easier. There's always something you can do better or more condensed. So it is during the internship that I went to a place to intern. Then I realized that I have to do accounting for the rest of my life. I couldn't take it. I realized that I always thinking there is always a better way to do this. There's always a better way to do this. Eventually, I realized this, that I looked at my dad. My dad is a director of a very large engineering company. He works for people. He's an employee. But his supplier, right, who is a friend of our family, who runs business, is 10 times wealthier than my dad. 10 times. Like, I have no idea how much they are wealthier, but it looks that they are wealthier. So I realized, actually, to work for someone, no matter how high you climb, actually, maybe business is more efficient. Maybe it's more efficient. So it is then, right, when I graduated from my university, and I decided I want to run a business. I want to start running business. But how do I then run a business? I went to join a direct sales company. A direct sales company is also like insurance, like property. You directly sell something to a client, which is where you learn your business skills.
Yeah.
So that's where I started. Well, joining a sales organization like a direct sales company, insurance, property, all this, right? It trained up my business skill for my case and the way I speak to people. Because in such organizations, they would have people to guide you what to do, guide you what to say, guide you, because your success. This is what they say, right? Your success is their success. They have interest to help you succeed in your work. So I learned from the coaches that is there in the organization. They teach me how to speak to people, teach me how to be more resilient, teach me how to have a business thinking. And true enough, I mean, I was a good student because I was ready. I wanted to run a business. I wanted to do something of my own. So the first 4 years, my wife and I were able to build up a sales organization of more than 100 people in terms of active salespeople, active business people, and we never looked back since. So at the age of 27, 26, we were not really working for anyone. So then until now. So that's where I started. That's where I started. The logic is always that, is there a way to do better? Is there a more efficient way to do things? Yeah. So
Yeah.
from my personal income point of view, I think that building a business or doing something that has to do with sales is more efficient.
Yeah, I agree with you. You just have to, even for me, when I start, right, when I opened my first business, the money I have, that it come from my friend was lend me money when I was 18 years old. It's come from
Mm-hmm.
trust. And then when I'm a little bit bigger, when I don't have friend lend me money, which is I pay back all the loan that I have to open my business. I want my business to be bigger. I let my employee do the work in my company, but I work for other company at the same time in the spare hour to learn as much as make the money to survive. And I never
Mm-hmm.
feel shame to share people about that. And up to now, when I lead my team, I explain to them about how you make money is still you need to survive first. But you just have to think of what job that you can do for 3 hours every day, but book food on the table. So you have another 10 more hours to fulfill your dream.
Oh
That's it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And,
you're
and I
right.
think and I think in most people, they just like, no, it's so hard, I cannot. I say, yeah, because you book your lifestyle too high for starting as an entrepreneur. But the entrepreneur, you just need how much per month to survive. Food, rental, and if you really can cover that cost, you actually should don't think about clothes, go out with boyfriend, girlfriend, dating, family. You cannot take care of them yet. You're not even viewing anything yet. And I think when I give that honest story, people tend to don't believe, right? But I say, but that's a fact. You cannot feel shame to do something else as a sell person, because you are the bigger person in organization. You have to sell any product on your hand. Even today, I give you the phone case, you also have to sell it. I give you the cup of water, you have to do it. You have to learn how to do it, and the only way for you to do it is book the ego aside and remember you need to survive at the same time build your dream. And I'm sure you go through that state as well, right? And of course with your lovely wife who support you behind the scene a lot. How do you deal with that emotionally, and how do you overcome that? Because most of people now give up too early, right? And they need to understand that they need to hear from legit entrepreneur to tell them that that's where you should not give up.
I Okay. So I feel that a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneur,
Yeah.
they I think I need the audience to follow me in a train of thought.
Yes.
So what you say is so true, so true. First, you need to put food on the table. You need to be able to feed yourself and maybe your family, right? That's
Yeah.
number one. So you spoke about the concept of using a spare time of 3 hours, right, to work on a part-time business maybe. But you actually do have a job. Let's say most young people should have a job to put
Yeah.
food on the table. And so we don't brand ourselves entrepreneur. In fact,
Yeah.
I think in the social media world, they celebrate the word entrepreneurship too
Yeah.
much.
I also don't like
Actu-
that. But like don't know what to
Actually,
use.
well, basically, we are just people, normal people who wants to do the best. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how I see
Maybe that
myself.
would be better. You just love to do what you're good at. Like that's how I define myself. I think I love at solve problem, and that's why I open business.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
I,
So,
I go work, I frustrated with people problem, and I think my boss didn't fix it. I want to fix it.
well, anyone who's listening to this is what it's all about, actually. A source of frustration is a business idea. Whenever you're frustrated with something, you solve that problem, and you see a lot of people frustrated about the same thing, and you go and solve it, you win. That's how it is. That's how it is. And and we don't talk about, actually I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business person. Very difficult to talk about this.
Yeah.
Is really to sort out problems first in your life, then other people's life. So I'm a very simple person, right? I wanted to make money more efficiently. That's it.
Yeah.
I want to solve my own problem first. So I found a business. And then, right, I also had a job. I work on a part-time basis. So I actually read a book called The Other 8 Hours. So it talks about 8 hours you work, 8 hours you sleep. Then
Yeah.
what about the rest of the 8 hours you do? And young people give up too soon. Young people give up too soon. I feel, how did I not give up then? It's very clear. I set a goal. I set a goal. I'm very clear as to why I'm doing it. Because yes, working on your own project, your own business is more efficient. Maybe the money come a bit faster than working for people, because by working for a job is linear. Linear meaning you put in an hour, you earn X dollars, right? You put in 2 hours, you earn 2X dollars. That's how it is. But business is very different. It's so different, right? Where you put in 100 hours, the return is zero.
Yeah.
You put in a
So that's
thousand hours, the return is zero. But then again, you do not know which hour that pays you 1,000 times. You do not know which hour. So the thing is, I used to learn this, right? Business don't pay you linearly. Business pays you in bulk. Bulk means when you do everything like right as a package, the universe will pay you a big
in
sum.
the sum. Yes. I get it.
But when, we do not know. So
Yeah.
let's say you are working on a business, you are on the 1,000th hour already. Then you work one more hour, 1,001. Hey, still not paid. The thing is still not working out. 1,002, still not working out. 1,003, the 1,003rd hour is still not working out. Then you give up. Then maybe 10 more hours later, you get it ready. So that's business. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I learned this from a very, very wise lady from the US. She said, I do until, which means you do until it's done. I do until. So when you decide to do your own project, or you run your own business, it's a single track road. That means you can only do until, and that's it. Because you cannot reverse. Once you give up, all the number of hours that you used to invest, the returns is zero. There's no chance of gaining. I also learned this before in the coaches. I'm so blessed by all the coaches, and anyone who's connected to Nhi, who coaches you on things. So appreciate her. I appreciate my coach. Because I learned one thing: when the business don't grow, the business is growing you. That's what I learned.
Yeah.
So when anyone who goes into business must be prepared that you are not getting paid, and you are only getting paid after you get everything right,
Yeah.
and the returns are fantastic, but you just have to make sure that you know that you are on the right track, and you need a coach. Maybe you need a coach. Maybe you need someone that runs with you to tell you that you're on the right track, to keep on encouraging you. You're on the right track. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think
So
that's a very, very tough position for people, because we're talking about right now is hard work plus patience. Most of people
yeah,
patient because like you impossible to see it, right? Because you just say you don't get paid for study. How do you
never.
deal with that? How do you go
The,
through that?
I think most people, right? I mean, the stress is not from yourself. Sometimes you doubt yourself, right? Sometimes some days I doubt myself. When I was in the beginning, I doubt myself whether I can do it or not, whether I can do it or not. Self-doubt is not as painful as doubt from your loved ones. Oh,
That's
this
so.
is
Oh my God, that's
so
hit hard. That's
so
so.
tough. So tough. I can't believe it, man. I mean, And you, you and
I
I
feel
probably gone through the same thing,
it's the,
especially
it's
your
the most,
husband.
yeah, it's
So,
so painful that you don't know who to share with that information. Like you scared to go home
mm,
because you feel like every day you go home it's like another job that you need to tell your boss the today you close the deal because they want to see result right now,
yes,
and you
yes,
can't tell them that the progress because they don't even understand what progress, what process you go through that you progress. I don't care. I want to see money. I want to
yes,
see, oh, you get scam, you get people like you too stupid, and you waste the time. You should just be a mother, you should just be a wife, and that's what I go through. And it's a lot of tear alone that I don't know how to explain to people. Even I'm saying it sound like it's just a story. I don't look like I'm sad, but you say exactly what I'm go through, and I'm sure you go through the same thing. How do you deal with a loved one in that situation when you know what you're doing is right for you, and it may be fail, right? Exactly like you say, we may fail
yes, we may
extremely,
fail. It's true.
and it may the thousand of hour we're doing may come back with nothing. Right? How do
But
you
if put in 1,000 more hours, if it doesn't work, put in 1,000 more hours. It will work.
yeah.
So how
It's,
do we deal with this? Actually, for my case, I'm very fortunate to have my wife Suzanne with me. I mean, Suzanne is such a wonderful lady. I wish more people can hear from her.
yeah.
I wish because she plays the role of a extremely supportive spouse. When I wanted to do business, I say I want to sell house and do business. Can or not? She say okay. She don't really say no
Question
lah.
her husband.
My God, I do very weird decisions in my life. Sell house,
Not weird
spend
like risky. We
risk.
are risk people. The people who run business, you need to know we're very risky. We're very risky, and we can bring our family to risky situation. For
Yes,
real.
yes.
Yes.
Very risky situation. So when can I sell a house? Yes. Please sell the house and so that I don't have a house to live in, and hopefully you succeed in your business. And she's very patient with it. Because I think at the very least, my wife and I, Suzanne and I, we don't need a lot. We just need. We don't need. We are not very. We don't spend a lot, so it's fine. And she's very patient in the beginning stages when I work in my business and I drag her to work the business together with me. She doesn't like it. She does it together with me. So I had a supportive wife, but not many of the friends that I know had a supportive wife. So okay, quick question, quick answer. If you can find a supportive wife or husband,
Wow.
or nah, if
That's
it's
a
too
tough.
difficult,
That's even harder than to run business.
if it's too difficult, don't really commit into a relationship that you can't commit. I mean, that's for sure.
Mm,
But then I learned something also. You can be committed to a relationship and not have a lot of time with them. Really,
yeah.
because right, it's always about how you are, how you behave when you are with them. Because let's say if I'm with my wife, right, I work on my phone. I keep working on my phone, keep working on my phone. Then I'm not there. I'm not
Yeah.
there. So, but if your loved ones know that you're working on something important, then don't be with your loved ones. Go and work on something important. Then when I'm with my wife, I'm 100% with her. So I think everyone needs to feel valued. I think this is the key to making sure relationship and business actually work hand in hand. In fact, businesses are also relationship. I realized that in the past 20 years, the relationship that I lost is because it's not I don't value the relationship. I don't value the person. It's I make them feel that they are not valued.
Mm,
So and I lose people like this. Do I not value them? I don't. I value them. It's just that sometimes we don't really care about how they feel when we are with them. So it's the same thing when you do business, when you have business partners, customers, and so on. It's always how you let them feel in your business. If you let them feel that they are the most important customer ever, and they will stay. It's how we treat them. People don't remember your product, but the people always remember how they are being treated. So I guess this is something that I had to work on in the beginning to make sure that my wife is feeling that I'm not neglecting the business for her.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people they would resent the business. Like let's say your spouse or your husband, wife is working on a business. You say, you always do the business, you don't care about me. Let's
Yeah.
say they say something like this. It's it's actually we made it happen or we let them feel that we are building the business is more important than our
Yeah.
loved ones. Where instead, actually the loved ones should know that the reason why we built the business is for them. You know why I
Yeah.
built the business? I built the
Yeah.
business is so that my wife don't have to worry about money anymore. That's her
Yeah.
goal. Her goal in life is to never worry about money anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I take the responsibility of all the finances and all this, right? So she don't have to think whether she has enough money to buy this, buy that. She's very thrifty, she's very frugal, but she doesn't have to worry about that. So that's what she wants. So I always communicate with her why I do this. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I would add on a little bit about Susan because I Susan is a rare lady that I have to say that I'm a picky too. I'm a picky person in terms of friendship and relationship. So do you and her, right? And I think for us to pump to each other, I have to say, and this is the best way to make friend, right? I don't even know Susan and YJ what they're doing for living, and I think that's the best part of relationship, friendship, how it works. And they also don't know what I'm doing for living, and so do I, right? I don't like to let people know what I do for living. I have nothing to hide. I just want to know people sincerely, authentically, who are they. And that's why I love this friendship that we grow very naturally. And I know Susan personally that I have to admire her a lot in terms of a woman to choose to be step behind and supportive. And I agree with you because you are not only the gentleman I meet that tell me about the two decision men need to make in life is so important for the rest of their life is the wife or the spouse they're going to marry, and also the environment, which is their friend, right? And today you just confirm it again with me. And I've been telling my young boy who I training and with them all the time that woman is the most important factor will affect your success. And most of the time men fall into a wrong woman and they don't realize that, right? I mean, we all human, we all need love and romance, and it's a part of us, like you just say whatever you're doing is just to make your wife happy, and you should, because it's a part of the husband, right? You have to do it. But at the same time, to choose the right partner is so hard. It's so hard for the young generation now, right? Especially now you have two sons.
I agree. I want to say a bit more. Actually, we are talking about business, but now we are talking about relationship. But I hope you and your team is okay.
It
You
is
know,
because I affect a lot for business though. I have a lot of friends who, all my male friends who are step out from a business or try to break the partnership we have. For the last 6 years of my life here in Singapore, all the male who break partnership with me, it's just because their spouse say no, or they just marry, or they just have a new
mm,
woman in their life, and we will build business together. We are invest together. It's growing, it's making money, and just a woman beside them say no. And that's why I don't feel shame to say it publicly, because I feel like it need more man. And that's why I was so passionate to tell you come up, because I think I need a man to tell men that, oh my god, don't kill the chicken. The
you
chicken
know,
leg
I
egg for you.
I experienced exactly the same thing as you. I have a business partner that I used to have, had a new girlfriend, and then he left.
Yeah.
I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
And it's come back
I
to
feel you.
why I
I
say
know.
I'm highlight that, because I want to say that you and Susan grow together as a couple. And I
Uh,
think mindset is so important in relationship. Even you are one who making money and she behind, but she need to understand you in terms of mindset and value and the goal you go and the sacrifice that she have to make as well, and you have to make together individually for the big goal of a family together.
can I
Right.
talk a little bit more about why both Suzanne and I behave the way that we
Yes,
behave?
yes.
Okay, both Suzanne and I are Christians, so we attend a church that teach us certain values that we hold true still today. I think most of every religion would teach you different things, different, obviously all good. But these are the values that I feel that it helps us. In the Bible, it says that it's very controversial now, especially the feminist movement. The Bible says, uh, there's a line that says, "Women submit to your husband." I tell you, when everyone listens to "women submit to your husband," these few words, oh my God, everyone will go berserk. They will think that in today's modern day and age, this cannot apply.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of wisdom in these four words, "women submit to husband." You can just search online the Bible. It says
Yeah.
this. Actually, it has to be a bigger woman to be a in a submission position to the husband. Actually,
I
the
agree.
woman has to be wiser, the
Yeah.
woman has to be more patient, and so on. So I feel that it's tougher to be in that position, because if you look at Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, our in Singapore, the first prime minister. In
Yeah.
fact, his wife, Madam Kwa, if I remember correctly, Madam Kwa. Madam Kwa is smarter than Mr. Lee.
Mm.
Smarter. She probably tops the class, and Mr. Lee doesn't. And she's smarter, she's better in every way. But she performs the role that allows Mr. Lee to run the country.
Yes, I agree.
And Mr. Lee Kuan Yew can run the country because of Madam Kwa.
Yes,
That's
I agree.
that's how powerful it is. And
Yeah.
is Madam Kwa a lesser person? Not true, eh. But the person who, okay, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew gets all the limelight. He gets to
Yeah.
run the country. He gets to do a lot of things, right? But the bigger person is Madam Kwa. So
Yes, I agree.
for men, right? I mean, our base thinking is men in our relationship, at least from this example, we realize that men has to have something that they want to work on, and then like the women has to be a bit more patient to I can't say support the dream of the man, but to work together to be a good counsel to the men. Be a good counsel means, a lot of times I'm sure Mr. Lee Kuan Yew wants to make a wrong decision in the parliament. Maybe a lot of times I want to make a wrong decision in my business or in my life. The wife is usually a good counsel. A good counsel means calm the man down, give wisdom, give a different perspective, and then make the right decision. And then usually a lot of decisions are made as a family, so there's a counterbalance, counter check against the decision. It's very scary that one person makes all the decision. There's no
Yeah,
counsel, and
exactly.
that's the base thinking. So anyone who wants to run a business, having a good counsel is very important. Someone to counter check your decision. So
Yes.
is my today's business. I have a business partner. Um, I have a business partner that runs our business. Right. We only have like just him and myself. So every big decisions, even small decisions, I run by him. And then, what do you think? Every big decision he runs by me. I'm like the wife of the company. He's the man. Like, you know, that's how it works, right? So there's always a good counsel. So we don't do unless we kind of commonly agree that, hey, we should do this together.
Yeah.
So that's how it is. Yeah.
It's so let's bring to the business part again after the partnership that we have with our spouse that will help our success. So men, please choose wisely. Whoever man that watching my video, if you have a conversation that you need more about that, just ask question more, and I would do my very best to bring more male entrepreneur and male business owner to share with you if they're willing to share like YJ. About the business part, right? I'm hitting like I'm not sure how about you, but I hit a period in my life sometime that I feel I'm too comfortable of my business. I don't know where next to go, and even you want to go next, you don't know who to ask to, because sometimes even you exit your mentor, right? I have one mentor who sit with me one day and he say, I already have nothing to teach you. And that's the when I like, okay, it's time for me to find a next mentor. And even I find next mentor, he told me that it's not about who will be your mentor anymore, because it comes certain path that it's time for you to figure out what's the next path, right? And I will go through that extremely depressing because it's the stress. I think the stress not come from the money. The stress come from the comfort and the break the comfort zone. And like knowledge, right? We learn to hit certain level that, okay, you know how to keep your business not die and survive, but you don't know how to bring your business to the market, to the level of the environment keep changing right now in the economy, right? So that's the next question I want to ask you, that when do you hit the rock bottom in the business or in your comfort zone in terms of be a business owner? What make you get back again? What tip you can give people, and how do they can deal with that when they go to the rock bottom in the business, that they have no way go out, or stuck in the crisis of their own business?
Actually, to run a business, to run a business to a point where you feel comfortable. It's a celebrated thing. I want to
Yeah,
give you a.
let's celebrate that first. So
You should celebrate. Yes, celebrate. Remember I shared with your team in in the previous session.
yeah.
To have continuous motivation, right, is to set the goal after the goal after the goal.
Mm.
So I'm not sure if you remember that, but because it was in the beginning of the session, uh, it's always to have. It's just like when a sports person becomes number one, and they become number one for so long, like Roger Federer in tennis, number one for so long. I think he closed both his eyes to play tennis, and he can still be number one. Then it becomes very comfortable, no challenge anymore. I think it's very important to um, first pat yourself on the back, which is to make peace with this first,
Mm.
because I also experienced this. Also, I experienced this when I was in 29, 2030. I have a pretty runnable business. It's comfortable, but my life is not working well. My life is not working well. So my life not working well, meaning the business is working, the business is running. I just have to attend to it, just to do the daily things. And then, right, I realized I become fatter. My health is not good because I'm not taking care of myself anymore. Like you said, maybe very very comfortable. So what
Yeah.
did I do? I pray to God. My God, I pray to God, give me a new challenge. I always look for new things to do, and it is then, right, my the logistic business that I have now, uh, and spot opportunities. My because I was so comfortable, I was waking up at 10 o'clock, waking up at 11, sleeping at 3 a.m. It's bad lifestyle. I wasn't controlling myself because it's too comfortable. Um, my friend Benjamin then asked me if I should just take a look at the logistic business. So
Mm.
it is then, I get to see a new thing. It challenges my brain again. Then I get to run a new business, and which I had to make major decisions. Major decisions meaning career changing decisions. That means I have to quit this, I have to quit that, I have to sell house or sell car, sell this, sell that kind of situation where it is the decision is big enough for you to pay full attention to it.
Yeah.
And I feel that whenever we run a business, for example, we are used to running business. As long as we do our best for our customer, and do our best for the business that we are working on, it is quite hard not to succeed in that business, in that 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 area of business, because I think in business is a lot is about product, yes, but it's also a lot about how you let people know that you pay attention to them, uh, at- attention to your customers, your clients, and all this. They know that when you do your best, they'll always give you the first chance, second chance, third chance to let you perform and let you learn along the way. You meet good people, because I think when you don't try too hard, when you don't try to when I say try too hard means try to impress people, be impressed but not be impressive. So people will tend to know your heart. When people know your heart, people want to work with you. So
Yeah.
that's generally for most business. So that's what I did.
The key that you say, I agree that the heart that you have to book in the business for both sides, from the employee and for the client as well, because the
Mm,
end they will just buy from you, right? And even they work because of you. You are
mm,
the soul and the heart of the business. Without you, people not come to trade. I call this a trade in value, right? People want to use the best service, but also they want to be served by the best people. Does that make sense for you?
yes,
And
it makes sense. It makes a
yeah,
lot of sense.
and in the leadership role, I think to train your team and learn the skill as leader, how to manage your team and train them as the same value as you and deliver the quality that you can deliver. But it have 20 of you to deliver that. So what is the challenge that you have to face in terms of deal with human resources, train your team, and what you see that you can share that it can add value to the audience if they're going to looking to be a leader to train their team or improve, especially young leader, what they should take note and what they should learn from the mistake that you have that you think they can avoid that in their journey.
Hmm.
Too
I
many
need I
mistakes.
need 30 seconds for this. Let me every time you ask me a question, I need to think, because it's those are
So
very good
deep.
questions. Deep, very deep. I don't know how you get these questions from, man.
It's
So
come from
good.
my brain. It's come
These
from my
questions are so good. So remember, I did mention, like, in the beginning, I said, if you it was my coach who taught me this. Ask the right questions, your life will
yeah.
be great.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's I trained myself many episodes to getting asked better question as well.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Practice makes perfect as well, right?
Yes.
So when to train people, actually is always to set a good example for people. I think if you want people to be hardworking, you must be hardworking in the first place. If you want to treat people right, if you want your people to treat other people right, you have to treat your people. You have to treat your people right. So I think the first point I feel that it's important is to lead by example. Always lead by example. You can't teach who you are not. You attract only who you are. I think that's always what I learned. I read a lot of John Maxwell books. John Maxwell is a leadership author, very very successful one. He writes very good books. He talks about how leadership is. So I this is important. You lead who you are. You attract who you are. So the person that you are, you will attract the same type of person to you. And so don't teach lah. Show people what you want them to do, and
Mm.
that's what I would always show to my people as much as I can. Because leadership and management is very different. Management is like I tell you what to do, you don't follow the KPI, then you are screwed.
Yeah.
This is called management. But leadership is, let me show you how you can get your KPI done. If I were you, how would I do it? This is more to like coaching, because I
Yeah.
think you coach in that sense. You they are with you, and you are with them. They are with you, rather than I'm on top, you're below. You work for me. I mean, that's how we treat our staff. I mean, our staff, our team members, our business partners, and so on. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of times, a lot of times, it's we want to tell people what to do, but try not to.
Yeah. I agree with you on this because I also have a uh, very challenging when I'm a female leader when I run business, because I always ask my mentor. He trained all men, like I feel I feel lonely in the journey of learn to be leader, because all the students that I'm with, all my brother, that I call you brother as well, because I just feel like the soul, we are the same, but in the public eye, they still treat me as a woman, right? And as a woman run business, I always have that struggling of how do I can tell a young man to be a leader when I'm a female leader. And I've been always struggling with that. No matter how much knowledge I can give them, I think it still have a side effect more better when a man train a man. Because you have a son, I think you understand more about what I'm talking about that. So I have very big challenging in terms of demonstrate how a leader should be. But the way of me as a female leader sometimes can be different, because I can be emotional touch with another employee. I can emotional conversation with another female or a male about their family issue, their friend problem. But men and men don't tend to talk like that, right? So in this case, the demonstrate, oh, for example, you married man, right? You cannot have a emotional conversation with a female who family issue or something as well, right? It's very sensitive, the line of train the person to be a leader. But I also learned along the way that you only can give them a power and let them make mistake and let them face it, and then they come to you for support, right?
Yeah.
And as a moment groom the next person to be a leader, I have to willing to let them fail, and most of the time it's so painful to see them fail, because you groom people, after for a while you feel they like your child. you
Yes.
know it's like your own children, and you're like, don't go there, don't be dumb. What the heck are you doing? And then they exactly fell where you say they should not go in your head, and you're like, oh well,
But
now let's sit
the
down together and let
the best way for people to learn is to fail.
it is.
It's what we call as parents, we call it controlled failure.
Yes.
Controlled failure. So you want your kids to fall, but don't let your kids fall until they die.
Yes.
They fall
With
enough to
similar
learn,
value then.
but don't fall enough to die. That's
Yeah.
that's how we feel. And
Yeah.
I want to say a little bit about being a female leader. In fact, what I know about female leaders, right? Very stable. All the female leaders that I work with, if they are true female leaders, are not female managers, but female leaders like you, um, very stable, very stable. That means most female leaders are very, 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 very stable. Whereas men leaders usually have a very small flaw. Um, the performance, like let's say,
If
as
fight
much
with
as I
if fight with the wife last night, next day is not in a good mood.
um
Our children cry, next day we still have to perform.
exactly, it, it's very easy. That's how mother why women are mothers is because why the kids always look for the mother is always whenever they look for the mother they can find comfort,
Yeah.
right? They feel safe, they find comfort, and and they feel charged. So when children, they always find their father to play, to explore, to to do risky things.
Yeah.
Right? So you see father throw their kids, then drop. Mom will always, no, do not throw the kids. By the time they stop, the father already throw 5 times already.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm stereotyping everything. I'm sorry if you feel that I'm trying to stereotype
No,
this.
you are tell the truth. I'm admit it. I agree with you. Come on.
But then again, right? But then again, that's how our people will look at us, because when we become leaders, we also function like mother and fathers. And when people look to you, people feel safe, secure, and comfort and energized after they work with you. They will need to find their way to do more things. So when they work with a person like me, right, they will not find comfort. They will not they will not feel safe. They will probably have a little bit of fun. It's like as if I throw them on the and we explore new things. That's
really, I don't face that part of you. I only face the calm and chill brother all the time.
yeah. After 20 something years in the business. So yeah.
So, well, oh my God, I can have this conversation forever. But you guys know that what? I need to give him back for his wife and his children, because I love Susan and the kid as well. One last question. I don't think a question. It's just a close up for today. Awesome podcast. If today, just assume that your son in day 20, and they come to you and ask about, Dad, I want to start business, but I'm scared. Should I start? Should I stop? What your advice? What should I do? How was that conversation will look like for you?
Actually, this conversation already started. It didn't have to wait until 20. So my son wants to build a hotel. Younger son wants to build a hotel. And I asked him why. Because he don't like the hotels that he stayed in before.
That's very good.
Yeah. And well, my elder son is less of that. So haven't got through that yet. So let's say if my son comes to me and ask this question, father, I want to run a business. I find it very difficult. Should I stop? Obviously, I would say no. You shouldn't stop. In fact, sometimes I would like them to think about why not listen to your heart, what you really, 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 really want to do in life. What is it that you really want to achieve? Is to set the goals. Because if I were to let them do something, right, my perspective is let them do something that people don't like to do. For example, people don't like to wash clothes, then be someone who washes clothes to them. So I always think of ideas where people don't like to do housework nowadays. People like to hire a helper. So open a cleaning company, then help people clean their house part-time, because in Singapore nobody lives. It's hard to have space to have a in-house helper nowadays for some household, because the houses are getting too small. So if they are frustrated with that, they will have to do it. They would probably, I will ask them to do this. But first, I think it's important to let my kids know what they really, really, really want to do. Yeah. So your question is, would I ask them to stop being a business person?
Because it's tough, right? We go through that. I don't know. Half of me want able to continue my path. Half of me is like, I don't know, maybe be a normal person is better. But I would don't trade anything to be where am I today. But at the same time, the suffer I have to go through to be where am I today. I don't know, is that worth it if I
I would say it's worth it. It's worth it if it's really worth it. It's always worth it in the beginning. It's not worth it. We will never feel that it's worth it in the beginning.
Correct.
it's only worth it after 10, 20 years.
It is, yeah. Only after 10
And
years you feel a hit and like, okay, now I get it.
yes, and I want my son to go through the same thing as me, and I feel that
Awesome father.
uh,
Guys, this
it's
is a kind of father you need to look up to. The father willing to let your son pain and go through struggling. This is a superpower. It's not easy though. Most of parents don't want the kid to pain. And that's why I like YJ, because YJ and Susan is same like me. We bring the kid to challenge thing. You know, we let the kid learn BJJ together. We want the kid to
yeah.
suffer because we know it's good. The mean
Only
the
pain will
pain,
be better. Pain
yeah,
will make their life better next time.
correct.
Tolerance of pain. Ah, yeah, we can conclude with this, The higher tolerance of pain you have, the more happiness you will find. Correct or not? Actually, it's quite true. What you
Quite
say is
true.
quite true. It came from you. It came from you. This thing came from you. So whatever you said, suddenly I have this thought. Yes, tolerance of pain. So
Yeah.
once you run business for 20 years already, at my stage, at this point in time, I've I've seen enough to know that everything is okay lah. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Nothing.
Everything is fine. You have
Nobody dies.
never,
It makes you okay.
yes.
Even lose
If you
money.
haven't died, you are fine.
Yes. Even lose money is okay. It's
Yes,
happened. And
it's
it
okay.
happened many times. It's like when your business small, you lose 10,000. Business a little bit bigger, 50,000. Bigger bit, few 100,000. Bigger, few million. It's just normal. That's how it should be.
Yes.
It's not should be panic even you lose $1,000 or $1 million. It should be the same emotion actually, because it's a part of the game. The bigger you
So
are, the more
so
tolerate.
when your kids can feel this, can be so strong in their heart to take all these up and down, I feel that they are happy lah. This is ultimate happiness lah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I at this moment, after 20 something years, I feel calm and composed most of the time. Most of the time, it's because of this. I've seen a lot lah. I've seen a
Yeah.
lot. So nothing surprises anymore. And then we always will go and find the things that make us happy. Lor. We
Yeah.
don't chase for things that is just out there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, thank you so much for all the wisdom and the awesome
Hey,
conversation.
it's a chit chat, and
Yeah, it is.
I
That's the
feel
whole point of my podcast.
this is not like a
I don't like my podcast to be serious. You know, I will say it publicly loud. I hate the podcast like a conversation about like intellectual, like read question and ask, that's not about that, because
Mhm.
I'm a I'm the people kind of character. I don't like bullshit thing. You know me by now, right? For me, money it should be always served for the purpose of humankind, and the no point to bring intellectual conversation to impress people about how much money I make, how much money you make. I don't like that. Doesn't mean people cannot do it. They can do their podcast that way. But for me, it's like people already get sick and tired of that, and I want to train and what we have before. I share with you, right? Like,
Mm.
remember your son one day will grow up, and what he watching is depend on what you book out today. And that's also motivate me to do my YouTube. I'm tired as well, that we run business all day. I do BJJ in the morning, go gym, and then at night I still do this thing. And I always question myself, is that worth it? Is that worth it? And after 6 years of doing it, and I have so many kids come to me, and you know that, right? You witness that changed my life forever, about the perspective of you book back to the world what you earn, right? And I earn so much from valuable people around me, and I always frustrated with the problem that why have lack of men speak up the truth, who are my authentic men that I meet, like the one like you, right? And I want to bring that on my podcast more, because I want people to see another side of entrepreneur and business owner man, more than just the money they make. Is they have a character, they have a personality, they have wisdom, they have a very deep and value and meaningful, fruitful conversation with them in terms of more than the money you make. How about you treat your wife? How about you treat your children? How about you treat your community? I think that is way more important than people keep talk about money and flashy thing that you should show for the world, right? And that's exactly why I so much appreciate you willing to come here, because I know it's take a lot for you to go to the, you know, the the famous part. I have a lot of friends as well like you that they refuse to come because they want to protect their family, they want to protect their wealth, and there's nothing wrong with that. I should don't feel pressure about my friend don't want to help me. It's nothing personal, it's just a choice that people make. So for you to be today speak up and share with me this, you don't know how much it's mean to me and my community and my team and my boy, you know. So yeah, I just want to share with you that it's really very important people know the pain of the success, because you know, like we discussed about that before. YouTube and everywhere, people just post all the stuff about success is so easy and quick, but it's not. And because people like us refuse to tell them it's not, because most of people say it is easy, but we know the truth, right? We know the truth. So thanks a lot for your time and your valuable conversation you've been giving me. And yes, I see you in the mat, and you guys, if you love whatever you're just hearing, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will come back with more episode with more awesome guests. Bye bye. Thank you for continuing support my Ms.Nhi Podcast, and don't forget to